I just realized, I have a shot of movie review of this movie. And I figure that, since I'm doing movie reviews right now, I'm going to actually go on and do this one. This is a Tim Burton movie that it's 28 years old. It came out the same year Hocus Pocus came out, and it's, Tim Burton's A Nightmare Before Christmas. Seeing that Halloween, as I mentioned 2 videos ago, was on Sunday, and, now it's, 1:30 in the morning on November the 2nd, 2021, it was an appropriate movie to play at Halloween. It's still appropriate clear up through Christmas, just because Christmas is involved, for those of you that just are so addicted to Christmas that you could spit. I once said that, I would love to get this movie for my mother-in-law before she passed away and have her watch it, just because it involves her favorite holiday and my favorite holiday, Halloween and Christmas. I happen to absolutely love Halloween. Let me explain why. Let me start with that. It's not because, it's devil worship or anything like that. What it is when I was a kid, what my mom would do is, when trick-or-treating time came around, she'd have, some family over, and she'd make a big old pot of chili, and, before we'd all go trick-or-treating, we would, when I was a kid, eat the chili, get our bellies full, and then we'd go trick-or-treating, in town. And, we would have a grand time with it. And Dad or somebody, whatever grown-up decided they wanted to stay behind to pass out the candy, would be left behind to pass out candy and stuff. And, it brings back a lot of happy memories for me. And, we would go to, the other, part of town where, we'd get these great big, I don't mean 10-foot long candy bars, but, we would get the bigger candy bars, because it's some of those people. They have the bigger candy and the more fun stuff, stuff the kids really want, or an apple or something useful, something we'd end up with, we would actually, believe it or not, we would take a pillowcase. So, me and whatever kids were going with me, trick-or-treating, and we'd take a pillowcase, and we'd actually fill the pillowcase about half full of candy. It was a lot of candy. When I say it was a lot of candy, I'm not pulling your leg. It's like we had candy from Halloween for Valentine's Day. Okay? Mom also was the kind of person that she wouldn't let us OD on candy on Halloween night. We would be eating candy for months. It'd be Christmas, and we'd still be eating Halloween candy. I'm serious. Mom was a bit of a dictator about that. She is you only get 2 pieces of candy. This was all, any day. She would actually hide the candy from us, and her and Dad would not eat the candy at all unless they happened to find something in there that they wanted, and then they'd eat it. But they didn't inspect the candy, the apples or whatever, make sure there was no razor blades or anything like that. I did grow up during the 80s, just as an aside, it's telling my age. So, we never worried about that, because the town I lived in, they were just, that wasn't going to happen. But that was, like I said, back in the 80s. Anyway, that aside, Halloween, it's the Halloween, The Nightmare Before Christmas. It starts off in Halloween Town with Jack Skellington, who his singing voice is none other than Danny Elfman. That Danny Elfman, the one that, mostly orchestrates Tim Burton's movies and stuff. And you can tell it's a Tim Burton flick from the script on it. At the beginning, I'm going, yeah, this is definitely a Tim Burton movie. And you know what I find is ironic is, and if you know Tim Burton at all, Tim Burton used to work for Disney like back in the day when he was first, like coming out to Hollywood to work and stuff. He actually would, draw sketches and stuff for Disney. And I think I heard he got fired or something. And, this was one of the movies that it's a stop animation movie. And it's a pretty good movie. And what it is this is the story I've been told. And this involves Nightmare Before Christmas. What it is the movie, if you know Tim Burton well enough, it starts out with, if you know Tim Burton, it starts off with his short film, Vincent. And then Vincent grows up, and it's the Corpse Bride. And then after some time passes and Vincent dies, he becomes Jack the Pumpkin King, which is Nightmare Before Christmas. That's the story I've heard about this movie. I don't know if that's valid. I'm not claiming it is, but that's just the story I've heard tell about this movie. And then this movie is a tiny bit scary for kids. One voice that is in this movie that's in another Tim Burton movie is the mayor. If you know who Otho is from Beetlejuice, the guy that plays Otho in Beetlejuice is the voice of the mayor. I forgot his name. Is Glenn Shaddix. I just magically thought of it. Glenn Shaddix is Otho, and he's also the voice of the mayor in Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, and Otho was in Beetlejuice. So is the actor Glenn Shaddix. And I gotta tell you, this movie, I would not necessarily let real little kids watch it because some of the thematics might scare them really bad. Because like at the beginning, Sally loses an arm. That might scare the little kids. That's not going to ruin the end of the movie. But, she's kind of like a Frankenstein's monster kind of thing. But, I would let like the older children, like when they're like 12, 13 years old, I would say, when they're about 12, 13 years old, I would let them watch this just because they're less likely to be as grossed out by it or freaked out by it, as a younger kid, like a 10-year-old might be, or a 6-year-old, but that's just me talking. And it's like the movie is, Boogeyman. The Boogeyman. There's like it's a musical basically, but the Boogeyman. I think when the Boogeyman gets a hold of Sandy Claus, he sings this whole jazz piece, and it's like, and Santa Claus is like, "What are you gonna do?" And the Boogeyman says, "Best I can," and I like the Boogeyman song. He's like, "You're kidding me, you gotta be, you're joking, you're kidding me." And it's just like this whole like jazz song. And it's just, it's like, you just watch it, you're like, you find yourself just dancing along to it. I mean, it's hysterical. But yeah, I do recommend watching this movie. I mean, it's extremely popular around this time of year for a reason. Like I said though, I wouldn't let little kids, like 10 or under watch it because it might traumatize them. Because like things of like, them talking about poisoning somebody, or, Sally losing her arm and, so she can get away from her creator, But yeah, I would definitely watch this with like, my 12-year-old child on up. Just because this movie is absolutely, like I said, it's geared towards more teenager and adult humor. And it is really worth a watch. But it is a whole lot of singing, though. So you do have to take that into consideration, too. And the best part is to hear actually Danny Elfman actually singing. Because just so you know, he was in the band Oingo Boingo back in the 80s. So, yeah, he does know how to sing. The man was in, like I said, a band once upon a time. Well, anyway, that's all I've got to say right now. So I will talk to you all later. Bye.